Money can buy you pretty much anything you want in life. A beautiful home, a beautiful car, or in the case of diamonds, maybe even a best friend. The Beatles said, money can't buy you love, but there's something just as valuable, and that's your time, the one thing that money can't buy you more of just yet. We crave experiences to be faster and more convenient when we have to deal with those mundane chores in our lives. And at the same time, we want things to be enjoyable, highly personalised and entertaining when we have time to enjoy them. Until time travel is possible, brands that enable us to have the one thing that money can't buy are the ones that we reward with our loyalty. We all get the same 24 hours in a day, so we constantly look for ways in which we can spend more time doing the things we love to do rather than the things that we have to do. Once time is gone, it's lost forever. If you have a business then, loyalty is a pretty important topic on your agenda. In today's crowded marketplace, where it's easier than ever before to set up a business, how do you attract more customers and then keep them for longer? How do you create loyal fans that wouldn't dream of using anyone else? Companies are spending $1.3 trillion a year on their marketing and advertising. Yet most of that money has no impact whatsoever on our choices about who we give our loyalty to. As consumers, we're no longer sucked in by those traditional marketing approaches. In fact, in a recent survey, we said we couldn't care less if 77% of all brands fell off the face of the earth tomorrow. Loyalty's dead. Or is it? Ask people what makes them loyal to brands and they'll probably tell you product, price, service, or availability. But those things are expected as a minimum now, aren't they? And when asked what's important to us, we give people our new expectations. We want companies who care with good ethics and a purpose, those who treat us and their staff in the right way, those who can be relied upon to do the right thing and are responsible with their actions. Am I right? Well, I'm going to disagree. Not because those things are not important, or even that I'm just being awkward. In fact, I think that there's something much deeper at play here that we base our loyalty decisions on. I believe that loyalty is directly correlated to time and pleasure. Time spent doing the things that we love to do rather than the things that we have to do. Increasing the pleasure we get or reducing the pain that we feel. Time spent enjoying our lives rather than having to deal with those mundane chores. And I think it looks something a little bit like this. With time going from left to right and pleasure going from the bottom to the top, our loyalty is plotted on a matrix across 4 different types of brands that we put people into subconsciously. And I'm going to walk you through those today to explain a little more. We start with the zombies. These are only alive because someone's not even yet created a solution to make them more pleasurable to deal with or take less time to interact with. They're the menial tasks in our life that we have to do, like our car insurance renewal. No one ever really fell in love with their car insurance renewal, did they? Oh, can't wait for that to come around again this year. Said nobody, ever. And then we have the convenience brands. These are the ones that enable us to get stuff done. We don't spend much time with them, hopefully, but they enable us to arrive at our solution in as quick a time as possible. People like Amazon. Who here may have used Amazon in the last month? Pretty much everyone, right? And as we move up the pleasure chart, we start to introduce our radical indulgence brands. We again don't spend much time with these, but they give us a short, sharp burst of pleasure when we do interact with them. Finally, moving on to the entertainment brands. And these are the ones that we can't spend enough time with. We love those interactions where memories are made or when emotions are triggered. When we're spending time doing the things we love to do, we never want the experience to end, which is kind of obvious, right? When my boy was 6, we took him to Disneyland for 4 days at Christmas. Just a short trip, that's all. But we stayed in that magical hotel in the middle of the theme park. You know the one that looks like Sleeping Beauty's castle. And there's nowhere quite like Disney, is there, for the magic of the experience. Mickey Mouse never really had an off day, did he? Never lost the plot or went on a rant, fell out with Minnie or had a fight with Pluto. No, Mickey Mouse never joined the rat race. And Joe, for just a few £100 or a few €100 even, we upgraded our stay to stay in a place called the Castle Club. Fantastic place to stay in. Secluded on its own floor in the hotel with a private elevator that shoots you down straight into the thick of the action. Which is handy because you get 2 hours extra a day to enjoy that time before the park's open to the public when it's at its quietest. Time spent doing the things that you love to do. And with VIP wristbands, we're able to plan out our whole day's activity. And then we can jump to the front of the queue. So we spend more time enjoying the pleasure and less time doing those things that we normally have to do, like queuing. But that wasn't the best bit of the holiday for me. The best bit for me was watching Finley playing with his corgi cars on the lounge floor in the Castle Club on a one-to-one basis with Mickey and Pluto. Building personal memories. And because in the Castle Club the characters come round to you on a regular basis during the day, you get time to enjoy those interactive moments on a one-to-one basis with them. How much are those times and pieces of memory worth to you? How much is your time worth? I don't remember the cost of that holiday, but actually, I don't even remember the room that we stayed in. It wasn't important. It wasn't the reason and the pleasure that I took from that holiday. When we left that holiday, I remember saying to Finley, do you want to have another 4 days at Disney? Or would you rather have 2 weeks in the sunshine at our normal holiday retreat? He didn't even flinch. He responded in an instant with, Disney, Daddy! Because we don't remember the amount of time we spent. We remember the pleasure that we put into that time when we're building those personal memories. So money can't buy you time then, but it can buy you preferential treatment. And technology has to be the enabler to those emotions rather than the replacement. Every single part of the technology at Disney is there to bring together those emotions and human interactions rather than replace them. Technology then that's there to enable us to do the right thing. And if you were to introduce technology at the expense of the human interaction, at some parts in our lives, we might see that as a wasted opportunity or reduced experience. This is Carl. Carl's a real mechanical bartender. He actually exists in a German bar. But I can't imagine that Carl is going to replace the human equivalent anytime soon. I mean, is he going to be your shoulder to cry on? Or the person that you'll talk about when you've got relationship problems? How bad would your love life have to get that you were telling your problems to a German robot? Those human interactions that we have often come from our favourite bar or restaurant, and those small, precious times that we get when we really want to treat ourselves. For me, it's the Pure Craft Bar in Birmingham. Over 60 craft beers to choose from, and bar meals that are infused with their purity products, with things like Lawless beer-battered fish and chips and Purity cider, sausage and creamy mash. My quick fix, my guilty pleasure, my everyday treat to myself. They're even on Deliveroo. So if I'm working late at the office and I think I deserve a reward, I can get them to deliver it to the door. But it's not just food and drink that falls into this category. For some people, it might be the healthy premium snack or fitness drink. For others, it will be the fast fashion outfit for their wardrobe. It's whatever that little fix is, that everyday reward to boost your dopamine fix. If you have a business that operates in this space then, the everyday premium space, it's vital that you ensure the consistency of what you offer continues to deliver the promise. Loyalty disappears very quickly here once the product no longer delivers the tag of being something that's your everyday fix. And once pleasure drops, it just drops down into convenience, which is where we're dealing with the everyday painful experiences of the mundane, spending time doing things that we have to do, not the things that we want to do. Loyalty here is quite fickle. We fall in love with the solution, not the brand. And those, therefore, that give us the easiest way to deal with things with least effort are the ones that get our loyalty. It's the reason why 86% of the population visit Amazon every month. And Amazon is not a brand that we've fallen in love with. We don't use the same words to describe it as those that we say we care about. Its name is surrounded by controversy and dragged through the mud for poor working conditions or for not paying its fair share of taxes. And yet, despite this, despite the fact that we say we want to choose companies that we care about, we continue to use Amazon loyally. Now, this is not an attack on Amazon. I'm one of the 25% of the population that's now a Prime member. But something else is at play here. Something happens subconsciously. We do want to support those brands that we care about, those ones who do the right thing, but only when it's easy to do. And given that we have over 65,000 thoughts a day, it's no wonder that sometimes we choose the easiest option. In an effort to spend less time doing the things we have to do, we take sometimes the quickest or the least painful solution in order to get things done. Lower effort, reduced pain, working through all those menial tasks we have to do, but using solutions that make it easier for us to do so. And finally then, we come to the zombies, those living dead creatures. These businesses deliver us no pleasure whatsoever. In fact, they take up far too much of our time. They're the car insurances, renewals of the world, the passport applications, and every other arduous task that we have to deal with. If you have a business that operates in this zone, you only exist because no one's yet come to kill you off or move you into one of those other three categories. These are the areas of opportunity for challenger brands to exist in, and for those to bring technology to the table to change the way we interact with brands, to create that experience that makes it better. 2/3 of the population, though, would rather deal with no one when dealing with their queries than they would deal with a human, which gives you some kind of an indication as to the quality of the conversations we're having. Will technology kill off that connection that we have then, or cause us to no longer want to deal with those intimate relationships with brands? Well, not quite. You see, we've started to use technology to do the things we need to do at times that are convenient for us. We didn't have those options before. So I no longer now need to wait until the bank opens in the morning to see the cashier. We might be avoiding human connection, but only when doing those outcome-focused tasks. I don't have to start work at 8 in the morning or work till 8 at night and miss those precious times with the kids. I can flex my time, and I can do it using the technology to make it easier, so that I can spend those times doing the things I love and enjoy the moment. Yet people seem scared of advancements in technology, don't they? McKinsey predicts that by the year 2030, over 400 million jobs will be replaced by automation worldwide. But those have to be more task-related jobs, don't they? They can't imagine that service is going to be one of those, although they do predict that service jobs are most at risk. But there has to be transactional service, surely. If you're talking about the kind of Amazon experience of delivering or dropping off parcels, then maybe so. But there's not much emotion involved in those interactions, is there? And when emotion becomes involved, we tend to want the human touch, the thing that bots can't replace. So long as we don't forget how to have our emotional intelligence, that is, and where people remember how to deal with people, not just self-service bots. Yeah, I'm not too concerned about my deliveries being made by bots instead of humans. They might be more reliable. And instead of that parcel being flung over the fence, it might get dropped off gently in order to deliver it safely. Dropped off in my garden by a drone or at the front door by an autonomous vehicle. Autonomous vehicles divide people's opinions, though. There are those that are worried that they can drive safely on a consistent basis, that they might mow down a whole heap of people in the street or at the bus stop. But those are things that will get ironed out along the way before they're introduced. What happens if they became more reliable than humans and safer, improved time travel, or caused us to have a positive impact on the environment? That would be pretty good, right? Tick quite a few of those boxes that we say we care about when choosing brands. But the real win with autonomous vehicles will be the time that they save us. Those 2 hours a day that the worker commutes. It's no surprise that high-powered CEOs have a chauffeur, is it? They continue working in the back of the car whilst the chauffeur drives them around to their destination. But what happens if we all got that opportunity? Not just the high-powered CEOs of the world. 2 hours a day extra spent doing their work or shortening our work day. 2 hours a day back to do those menial tasks. Or 2 hours a day back doing the things we love to do. Spending time building personal memories. Giving us the one thing that money can't buy. And so, until time travel is possible and we're allowed to buy more hours in a day, it's vital that we choose brands wisely to enable us to spend our time in the right places. Maxing out the pleasure that we get from the time that we spend building personal memories, or reducing the time spent when we're dealing with those arduous tasks in our lives. As consumers, we're subconsciously programmed to give our loyalty to those who give us the easiest option to deliver on those promises. And so I ask you, are the choices that you are making today enabling you to give your loyalty to those who deserve it? As a business leader, are you delivering against those promises to deliver conscious or subconscious loyalty? To protect the one thing, the most important thing of all, and that's our time. Thank you.